What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are bringing another hyper meta team that you guys can give a try in the Open Great League. I know on my channel I have been doing a lot of spicy, fun, unique teams, but in yesterday's video, right, I ran Defense Form Deoxys, Umbreon, and Dugong, a very strong team that performed really well for me. This is another one that did really well, and it makes a lot of sense. And for the longest time in the meta, Azumarill kind of got knocked out, right? When we saw the surgence of Lantern as the dominant water choice, along with like Swampert, Azumarill kind of faded to the background, but it is extremely good still. It's Azumarill. We're pairing it with a Registeel lead and a Sableye. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Registeel on the lead versus Shadow Alolan Sandslash. So this is going to be kind of a tough matchup. If you guys are maybe coming back, I've seen a lot of comments of people saying I've returned to Go Battle League. Alolan Sandslash got Drill Run and Shadow Claw. This thing is hyper meta now, and it's extremely good, so you guys need to give it a try. I'm going to be running a team with it this week as well, but in this matchup, I can easily go for a Focus Blast and force the shield, and it's also going to force them to throw energy right here, and I'm going to look to go for one more Focus Blast. Now, I'm reading this team as Medicham and Azumarill in the back, as it's a very common meta team here in the, I believe these battles were in the 2700s. So I'm going to go ahead and save Registeel as a sack swap and now swap into Azumarill. Obviously, this is going to be kind of tough for us to take down, and it just goes to show how strong a Alolan Sandslash can be if you don't have a hard counter to it, like a Medicham, for example. But I'm still reading that Sableye might be able to win this game for me if I have a shield and I catch energy. Now, they do swap into Azumarill. So Pokemon number 2 is now on the team that I'm reading, right? I think there's a Medicham in the back. And what I think I can do here is get to another Play Rough and get this thing low. And thankfully, I still have my Registeel, so I should be able to catch a charge move on it when I come in with Sableye, because they are likely going to be going for Play Rough. So I'm going to go ahead and let them farm me down. This is close enough range for a Sableye to farm down with Shadow Claw or even go for a foul play. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and do a nice little peekaboo right there, because I know they had a lot of energy, so they'd want to throw, and we caught the Play Rough successfully. So now we are in a very good position where I can safely shield right here, and now I control this game with Sableye. So let's see how we can do. It is not a Medicham in the back. It is worse. It is a Frostlass, and I'm hoping that this foul play can KO, and it doesn't. The Frostlass hangs on with 1 HP and a dream, but I don't think this is Shadow Ball. I think it is Avalanche, which we can survive as we farm down. Azumarill's going to come back in, and now we only have one option, and that's building up the double foul play before we go down to that last bubble. So this foul play takes out the Azumarill, and the next one takes out the Shadow Alolan Sandslash, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Buckle up, because these games were intense today. Good game to my opponent. All right, got Registeel now versus Defense Form Deoxys. All right, so I'm reading that there's probably going to be an Umbreon in the back, and the third Pokemon could be the Dugong, like I built in the other days, the other video that I did, but it doesn't have to be, right? Just like we saw Frostlass instead of Medicham, but I'm reading that there could be an Umbreon. So we're going to go ahead and let this charge move go through. It is going to be the Thunderbolt, and then we're going to look to go for Focus Blast right away. Now, the reason why I'm letting this Defense Form Deoxys take me down is because I want to farm down with Sableye, and they're likely going to swap, and they do. There is an Umbreon in the back. Perfect. Azumarill now is aligned, and if it's a Dugong in the back, we should still do pretty well with our Sableye, because if I can keep my Azumarill alive, I should be able to clear the debuff on Sableye when we go deep into shields, right? And then swap back into Azumarill. So what we're going to do here is just go straight for Play Roughs. There's no reason to go for shield baits in this situation. The Umbreon is just trying its best to get us as low as possible so that the Dugong and the Defense Form Deoxys can finish us off. So now I'm going to go ahead and go for a Play Rough just before they get to that next last resort. This should be enough to KO. So let's see if it does. Perfect, it does. Beautiful. Umbreon goes down, and it's not. It's a Shadow Charizard in the back, which might be a bit better. because what I'm going to do here is go for a Ice Beam and then swap into Sableye, and now the real play here is to commit to the full farm down. I think I lose if I throw a charge move because I will lose a fast move turn right here, and Shadow Claw is doing enough damage that I should be able to farm down. So I'm going to go ahead and double shield. We do stop the blast burn, which is perfect. And now we can just full farm down. The defense farm Deoxys is coming back in, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. There's nothing they can do. Now, if that wasn't blast burn and that was Dragon Claw, I would have thrown the double foul plays, right? Registeel now versus Umbreon. Good game to my opponent. Very positive lead for us, and we want to keep Sableye away from it. And look to win this lead and then see what we can do with their Sableye against their backline. There could be a lot of options back there. We got to look out for a few things, right? Whenever you have a lead, you have covers to that lead's weaknesses in the back, or pseudo covers. So Umbreon in this case, weak to fighting, weak to fairy, weak to bug. So there's likely going to be a fairy and potential fighting counter back there. So there could be a poison, which might be a play. There's a lot of, there could be a Nidoqueen back there. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe a Toxapex are two that I'm thinking of. There also could just straight up be a Medicham back there. That wouldn't surprise me. Now we see a Charizard come in, so I'm going to go ahead and look to go for the Zap Cannon and force the energy here on Charizard. If they go for Dragon Claw, I will get the Zap Cannon, so they have to throw Blast Burn, which is going to be perfectly fine with me as I can come in with Azumarill, and they swap in. There's the Toxapex. A beautiful read right here. We have the Sableye against it because we resist Poison Jab. Brine doesn't do any damage, so this is going to be a good game, very well played, as we safely took the lead right there. And they do decide to surrender. So that was a straight team read. And this is what you got to do, especially in bulkier matchups like we have with Defense Form Deoxys or Umbreon on the lead or a Noctowl. You got to read what they're doing. Now they swap into a Medicham right away, so I'm going to go ahead and just bring in that Sableye. There is no reason not to right here. We could get into a bit of trouble if there is a Lantern or a Trevenant in the back, but even then, we still have Registeel, and we still have Azumarill and a good amount of health and energy and shield. So this is going to be perfectly fine as I can let these Ice Punches go through. I'm now going to commit to the full farm down because an Ice Punch will not be enough to KO me right here. But they don't go for Ice Punch. They have a Dynamic Punch, which barely doesn't KO, but my Sableye hangs on. And now we can go for a foul play here against the Noctowl. Now the question is, what Pokemon do they have in the back if they safe swapped a Medicham? The answer might be a second Pokemon to counteract tanks. And sure enough, it is a Swampert. I was thinking it might be a Trevenant. I wouldn't have been surprised by that to bait out Sableyes. But ultimately right here, we're looking pretty good. I will give up a shield as they likely go for the Earthquake early. It's at the end when they look to go for shield bait. So I'm going to go ahead and just go straight Ice Beams right now. But this game is still going to be close. Shadow Swampert does have 2 shields. It gains energy very quickly. Even though I'm doing a lot of fast move damage and charge move damage, these Earthquakes, like you guys are about to see, do so much. I should have potentially shielded right there, but I was worried about getting Hydro Cannon shield baited. So now I'm going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. We get shield number 2, which is fine. And I should be able to get to an Ice Beam here, but they make a beautiful swap into Noctowl. So now what I need to do, and this is going to be a crazy attempt, I'm going to commit to the lock-on farm down. Why is that? That Swampert has a lot of energy. It has a lot of energy. So much so that I think it would delete me with a Hydro Cannon. So what we have to do is we have to risk it for the biscuit here. No shield, both Shadow Balls, and commit to the lock-on farm down. And Registeel gets it with like 2 HP. And we have the Focus Blast ready to go for the Swampert. Obviously, we have a shield, so if they went for the charge move, I don't think they would have won. I think we would have survived that 1 damage. That is going to be a good battle. All right, moving to the next one, we have Registeel, and we still had a Zoomer on the back anyways for, well, no, it wouldn't have won that because it would have gotten Hydro Cannon. But we have a Medicham here on the lead, and a Carbink swaps in. This is tough. Now, it's Medicham and Carbink, and my thoughts are it might be a Bastiodon in the back. So that could be potentially dangerous. Well, not as dangerous, I think. It could be Galarian Stunfisk, could be Registeel, but my thoughts are it might be Bastiodon, because this just looks like, I don't know why, but this team just reeks that there is a Bastiodon and a Carbink backline paired with a Medicham lead. So we let these Rock Slides go through. We're going to go ahead and come in with Registeel right here and load up on Energy, because we want to be able to have, well, I mean, we're not going to be able to get that much energy. Obviously, they're hitting us with Moonblast right now, but they swap into Medicham, which is a huge opportunity for me, because now, as you guys are thinking I'm reading Bastiodon. I swap in the Azumarill, and now I have the Registeel aligned to a Carbink and a Bastiodon, and Azumarill aligned to a Medicham. This is like picture perfect. And they don't have Psychic. They have Dynamic Punch, which makes me think even more that they have a Bastiodon in the back, because Bastiodon loses to all the other tanks like Galarian Stunfisk and Registeel. Now, they let the Medicham go down, which was kind of surprising to me, and they come back in with the Carbink. And now I'm starting to think, hold on, it might not be a Bastiodon in the back. It might be something like an Altaria. They're just kind of like checked left, right, and center right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. But no, it's a Registeel, and this is a good game. You want to know why? Because I cannot outpace the Registeel in the mirror. It's going to have more energy than me. So now what I have to do is pray that they throw exactly on Zap Cannon. So I have to let it go down, and now I got to come into the mirror match with 2 shields. We have 0 energy, 0. And they get to the Focus Blast well before I do. So there's no way I can win this game. It is a checkmate and a good play by my opponent. I was reading, and I'm going for Zap Cannons here for the lulz, because I want to try to double debuff them and see if I can survive a Focus Blast. That's going to be my play right here. So we get 1 attack drop. But ultimately, like you saw with the energy there, once we came into the mirror fight, they were very far ahead of me. So there's no way I'm coming back from this. But they played it really well. They saw the Pokemon that I had, and ultimately I was reading a Bastiodon, but it was not. It was a Registeel, which is tough to overcome right here. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. But yeah, this team did a lot of work today. A nice set right there that I wanted to showcase for you guys. This team is very, very strong. Obviously, it is extremely meta. But Azumarill coming back. I know it's been gone a long time. Some of you may be like, I've been using Azumarill this whole time. Well, if we remember the past couple months, actually the last like 9 months, Lantern and Noctowl have been like everywhere. And we really didn't see a lot of Azumarills. But now I think Azumarill is making a comeback. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team and these battles. And like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.